Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome back to yet another remake versus original. I feel like I've been doing so many of these and I love it because I kind of missed them, so I'm just doing a whole bunch of them. I don't have another one planned after this one, so for at least a month there won't be any more remake versus originals, but this one was requested of me by B, of course, Queen Bee. But as this is Mother's Day, that's why I'm talking about these movies, because Mother's Day is Sunday. Stay tuned at the end of the video for a special Mother's Day segment. All right, so let's talk about the original first. Directed by Charles Kaufman, the original Mother's Day follows three women who become prisoners of a sadistic mother and her two sons that will do anything for their maniac mommy. So this is the second time I've watched this movie. I don't remember if I reviewed it or even what I thought about it when I did. If I can find the video, if I did review it and put a video, I'll link it somewhere. I must have wiped it from my memory or something, like, because there was like so much of this movie that I had, I guess, just forgotten about. But it was almost like watching it for the first time. I did remember some parts, but I enjoyed this watch though. Like, as much as you can enjoy this movie, because I mean, I'll get into it. Like, some parts are like over the top and ridiculous and kind of maybe a little bit silly, but then others, like that rape scene, which is just, it's very sadistic. The rape scene are dark and serious. For some reason, I kind of liked that about the movie. Like, it has bits of light and dark. Like, at least when I was watching it, like, I'm sitting there thinking it's gonna be like a silly slasher, and then it gets dark, and then it lightens up again and gets dark again. Maybe that was just me. I don't know if anyone else finds like the silliness in the movie. Like I said, not all parts, but like, I feel like the movie like kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat because you don't know if it's gonna be silly or not, or what's gonna happen. I like that about the movie actually this time around. Talking about the remake though, the remake was directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. I hope I said that right. This remake follows the sadistic family as they terrorize the new owners of their former home. I felt like I had to do that because the plot is quite different from the original, but I liked the changes in the movie. The home invasion aspect I thought was clever given the horror movies of the time, like The Strangers, Inside, The Last House on the Left remake, the Funny Games remake, The Collector, all came out like a little bit before this movie or around the same time. So home invasion movies were definitely a trend. I thought it was a smart choice to take this from like slasher movie to home invasion movie. Made it more interesting rather than it being a shot-for-shot remake. So really, the biggest similarity between these two are the character names, which remain the same. Speaking of the characters, not the family, but the victims, I thought were like especially kind of stupid though. Like, the movie definitely, it's like a showcase of all of the dumb decisions a horror movie character can make. Like, but I did like the mother a whole lot more in this remake. Like, she was more involved, I think, and you got to see how she manipulated not only her children, but the victims as well. I wasn't a fan of the ending though. I'm sorry, I'm gonna spoil it, but this movie's almost 10 years old, so I don't feel that bad. I think it would have benefited from ending right after Beth and the other girl, sorry, I don't remember her name, were saved by the police. They don't find the mother's body. They don't find her body. And we learned by this point that Beth is pregnant. So I feel like it should have ended right there. And so we could have been in Beth's shoes, like being terrified if mother is gonna come back for her. But then they actually showed that happening, and that mother like steals her baby after it's born. And I just thought that like, that took away the dread that they could have left you with at the end of the movie. So I thought that was kind of a poor choice. So let's compare the two. I kind of find it hard because they are so different to compare them, and I like each movie for different reasons, and I dislike each movie for different reasons. I have to hand it to the remake for updating the story to like fit the trends of the time, and you know, rather than just completely copying the original. But I think I like the original a smidge better though. I'm gonna give the original a 2.5 out of 5 and the remake just a solid 2 out of 5. Didn't think either of them were particularly great, but they were both okay. They were okay. I'll do the same thing that I have been doing. I will do the original on this side, remake on this side. So let's start with the original. On IMDb, it has a 5.4 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 42% critic score that's out of 12 reviews and a 38% audience score out of almost 3,000 reviews. And then on Letterboxd, it has a 2.8 out of 5, and at least those of you that I follow that have watched it, it's very scattered. It's kind of all over the place. In terms of the remake though, on IMDb it has a 6.3 out of 10, has a 42% critic score again out of 43 reviews, and a 52% audience score out of over 11,000 reviews. And then on Letterboxd, it's just got a 2.9 out of 5, super close. It's a lot of 2s and 3s from you guys. I thought that was interesting. I feel like this might be the closest remake versus original in terms of like other reviews, like from IMDb and Letterboxd and all that. That might be the closest one I've had. If you've seen either of the Mother's Days, the remake or the original, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about them. If you've seen both, let me know how they compare.
Hi everyone, I'm Vicky's mom. I know we don't look anything alike, but I really am her mother. And since it's almost Mother's Day, I'd like to talk a little bit about mothers and horror. The first horror movie I ever remember is Psycho. And the mother wasn't present in that movie, but mothers definitely have an effect on their children, and he was absolutely bonkers. You know, you might wonder if I had an effect on Vicky. Well, at an early age, I read Edgar Allan Poe to her, and I don't know whether that did it. But they were classics. So what? I mean, I tried to read all the classics with her. So, but it did have an effect. She does love horror, so that probably did. Another movie that it's old, but it's Carrie. The mother was absolutely nuts and definitely had an effect on the daughter. Kind of in a good way, because she kind of got away from her mother, but you know, she was not right.
She fucking kills that psycho bitch.
Not right. But mothers do have an impact on their children, and you really want to think about, you know, what you're reading to your children or what you're letting them watch, you know, at early ages. But I'm kind of a free spirit, and I wanted Vicky just to read everything and anything she wanted. Lastly, this isn't really a horror movie, but another favorite is Serial Mom. She kind of vocalizes everything that you are thinking. You know, so if you ever have a chance to watch that movie, it's a really good one. Vicky also asked me to talk about, since she's my child, there are movies that depict how you would not want your child to turn out, and one was The Omen. It's been a long time since that came out again, and the child's name was Damien, that would be a mother's worst nightmare, that your child's possessed. And sometimes when you're raising them, you wonder if they are possessed. But that's beside the point. I want to wish everybody out there, all the moms, a happy Mother's Day. And one more thing, Vicky is the best daughter a mother could ever want.
Aww. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can ring that notification bell down there to be notified every time I post a video, even though it sometimes works. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye!
This video is brought to you by all these lovely creepy patron peeps that you see listed on the left-hand side of the screen. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link that is in the description of this video. No pressure, but it's there if you want to check it out. Thanks for watching. Bye!